Dustin and I decided to do a map on the tax assessment that's coming out of the city to see sort of who's paying the bills in the city. So we used open data and used a mapping software called Cardo, and then basically mapped out the different neighborhoods based on the assessed value per square kilometer. The downtown is such an important part of a city. It just plays that pivotal role. You know, downtown was around $3 billion, which I think the top several neighborhoods counted for close to 10% of the city's entire tax base. So when we're thinking about how do we prioritize, you know, the money that's going back into communities into making them safer and more walkable and these sort of things.
So for me, what's interesting is how are communities kind of financing the amenities they have? So things like sidewalks, things like rec centers. You know, when the city doesn't do that, they collect a general pot of revenue and then distribute it based on different priorities. But I think it's also important to understand, you know, at the neighborhood level, you know, what would be necessary for that neighborhood to sort of sustain itself in terms of the amenities and the investment it's receiving compared to what it's contributing to the tax revenue. Some of the things that were a bit of a surprise is that, you know, communities that we associate maybe as being higher value, like Glenora, for example, you know, they do have high average household value, but when you look at the actual value for the neighborhood, it was lower than some of the neighborhoods like Central McDougall or Queen Mary Park. And that's just because they didn't have the density of those communities. And so density was a major factor in the value of the different neighborhoods. And so beyond density, we wanted to understand what were some of the other factors that led to that value. And so we started looking at things like walkability and transit accessibility as well.